The third and final dino has been revealed. ARK building TLC to come. And a structure tier that was almost in Genesis Part 2. You're right kids, it's Ras Clark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So I hope you've all had a good weekend. There was a lot of stuff being fed, my word, everything that I'm missing out on and being late to the game now, so I apologise on how late this is right now, but we're here now, let's get through it. What have we got? Of course, a new picture of the Dinopithecus, the monkey ape, throwing poop grenades that are going to disable tech. That's right, that's what it's going to do, and it looks pretty damn ferocious. I'm guessing this was done by the one and only Mr. Fuego, who creates a lot of wildcards artwork in recent times, and it certainly resembles his sort of style. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be a bit smaller, but that's a good thing. Big ape, angry ape, poop coming at ya. Hold tight. If you don't know any more about the Dinopithecus, go check out my video all about it. I'll leave a link in the description. But of course there's something big and revealing to see now. The Sinomacrops, and it wasn't without a bit of controversy once again, because where did we see this before? Nexus, arguably the biggest ARK content creator out there, of course was a big advocate of this, and it certainly won a voting contest to end up in the final vote, which of course the Dinopithecus eventually won. But the Sinomacrops appears to have been handpicked by the devs, which means, one, it was always going to be the Sinomacrops, and that it was just a pure coincidence that it got as much attention as it did with Nexus and the ARK community, or the influence was indeed there, and this is why it's our third option. And our final option, let it be known that there are only going to be 3 coming to Lost Island, the latest map to join the official roster. When? We don't know. There's been no date given yet. All we know, it's later this year, and yes, there is going to be another dino vote, but that's going to be after Lost Island drops for the next mod map. The devs haven't officially said that's going to be the process, but the way they've worded it, it certainly sounds like the next time we get to vote another creature in, it's going to be after Lost Island drops. So that's it, your 3 dinos locked in. The third and final one, the Sinomacrops. But what can it do? Is it any good? Is it going to be useful for you and me? Well, for one thing, it's going to screw over a certain creature. The Arky is going to be no more. You're going to not have any need to tame that one. I tell you that for free, because this thing can double up as a parachute and a glider. Why on earth would you want to use an Arky anymore? We might as well just take him out of the game. I'm not joking. Serious stuff. It appears the Sinomacrops is going to be a passive tame, which can be scared quite easily, but once tamed, it will not only be that glider / parachute that we're going to receive, but will also possess flashing eye spots and a piercing shriek, usually enough to stun an undersized interloper, so I'm guessing it's going to be survivors. Maybe smaller creatures, but definitely not large creatures by the use of the word undersized. Oh, and it's also touted to have a very good carrying weight, which could certainly help you in those long journeys when you're farming a lot by hand and want to fly away with a Sinomacrops on your back. It does certainly look like fun, and I'm interested to see how this wingsuiting mechanic's going to work with this creature. Should it have been picked by the devs? Was it already being picked by the devs in the first place? Who knows? We may never know. What do you think? Comment below, let me know. Sponsored mods. We've got some new sponsored mods whereby, of course, Wildcard fund, help, develop, progress mods out there to be bigger things within the world of ARK. And we've got a new map joining the fray. Interestingly, not a map that was on the top 10 list we did recently. A very new one that I've not even seen myself before, Alamia. And I've certainly got to say, this is shaping up to be looking like something special. The trailer alone, credit shout out, I will leave a link to the full trailer in the description. Alamia is a purpose-built hardcore survival ARK modded map, made for players who want challenge and come back to the ARK we know at the start of the game. With its own unique dungeons, challenges, areas, you will be set to be a true survivor weakened by the journey to these remote lands. Will you be up to the challenge? And then we've got ARK Genome's Extinction Evolved. It's a mod that essentially transforms all ARKs, giving a new tiered creature genetic enhancement out there. With a new artificial virtual assistant, this time called Ava, a new story-driven experience, environmental effects, structures, resources, and new scenery, this is certainly shaping ARK to look like something very different to the game you know. If you're already done and you've played all the maps and you're a bit bored and you think, I need to switch it up, this might be something for you, if of course you can download mods. Certainly one to keep an eye out on, and if you're on PC, Steam, certainly go download it. So something very interesting happened just as I was going on a holiday for the weekend that I certainly put out to you in my community post. I hope you checked it out. If you did, you know all about this. Said the community manager put out a tweet saying, what's on your hashtag ARK building TLC? Been working on some stuff internally, hence the lighter activity. Asking you, what do you want ARK build wise in the game? Now, of course, I sent you a link to go and reply to this, and there's been some great suggestions, but you've not only replied to said yourself, you've certainly replied to me, and we've got so many great ideas and suggestions, and the developers have certainly been told to come and have a look at these ones as well. There's far too many out there, but what's cool about what happened here isn't what was said, isn't even this glorious picture that said put out, where he put all of the summer bash festivities, not festivities, that's Christmas, where he put together all of the summer bash fun stuff that we did in a little collage out for everyone to see. I love it, and because I'm there like twice. But what's cool about this is, one, this was sparked by someone we may know. You may know Saphiro. I've spoken about Saphiro before. We go way back. He's a great builder of all things ARK. Certainly go check him out. I'll leave his YouTube channel in the description. But basically, he tagged a load of YouTubers, all pushing the hashtag ARK building TLC, saying, come on devs, let's see something new, what's going on? And that's what sparked said tweet. So shout out to Saphiro, but more importantly, you never know what you might ask, what that might spark. So never hold back. If you've got a question, you've got something on your mind that you think needs to be addressed, go at it, have at them, get it out there. You never know, you might be creating the next topic for the developers to be talking about, so certainly get involved. But that's not the big thing that happened because of this. The big thing is Jat. We all know Jat, we've spoken about him a few times before. Senior product manager of Wildcard, was community manager, I hope he was Jat, I hope I haven't got that wrong, and he mentioned that there was indeed a structure tier out there. Now, obviously, there was a reception of people wondering what the hell this was. And the man, the myth, the legend, Codigo Alex, we've spoken about him before. He's developing the Titan mod, map mod, which is looking very, very cool, by the way. Found some assets within the Gen 2 files called Shale, and they look like this. Certainly not a lot to go on, but something certainly intriguing to think about. And there's one there, big and blown up for you to certainly digest. Well, it turns out that was indeed going to be something that was going to be in Genesis Part 2, a full-on structure tier. And why didn't it get in? Well, there's one solid reason why, and follow me on this journey of tweets as we go through them. Created by the main man Craig Brown. We've spoken about Craig Brown before, the senior designer at Studio Wildcard. Began with a series of tweets, which I'm going to read off. I know you're not a big fan of people reading words that you can read yourself, but we're going to do it anyway because there's a lot to digest here, so follow me. So skipping tweet 1, first, a quick reminder on the main reason we cut it. While no single structure is a big deal, a structure set takes up a lot of memory. And when you consider the game doesn't already run the best on some of the older consoles, we decided we couldn't afford the memory cost. But enough of that, here are some details. Conceptually, the set was akin to a very durable coral. Players would use the mutagen found in Rockwell's innards and apply it to wooden structures, converting them into what we would name Shale in-engine. The in-game name was never really finalised. Visually, the Shale set was going to look like coral, grown, not manufactured, spiky, colourful, very different from any sets in the game at the mo. Some of the functionality, not all, can be found in the Gen 2 mod tools under the dev name Shale, currently a reskin stone set. Farming for shell was going to be very different too, because the shell set was durable organic matter. Players couldn't just find and harvest it. Instead, they would use mutagel to convert wood structure pieces into shale. Mutagen causes wild mutations, remember? So shale would be stronger than metal, but weaker than tech. It was not intended to be a replacement for tech. We've established that tech is basically the most durable substance known. Instead, we intend it to have more incomparable advantages over tech pieces. Trait 1, Explosive Resistance. Shell would take significantly less damage from explosives than any other structure set. I think we threw out numbers from 1 out of 10 to a half and never finalised it. To offset this, melee damage over a certain amount would be able to damage the pieces. Trait 2, Thorns. Any creature attacking Shell with a melee attack would take flat damage, like a Shadow Mane. That may not seem like much, but each piece would deal the damage, so giant AoE attacks would add up thorn damage quickly. Getting through Shell defenses means harming your creatures. And I love that, because what that would do is deter Titans. But moving on, Trait 3, Regrowth. Unlike any other set, Shell had the ability to slowly regrow. This means that shell structures slowly regain health over time, without players needing to interact with them. Trait 3.5, Regrowth++. Each piece knew what pieces were attached to it, so anytime a piece was destroyed, it would tell its neighbours that it died, and those pieces would eventually replace a 1 HP version of that piece, which would start regrowing. Insane! Which meant if you did not foundation wipe anyone, the base would regrow. What? And the hope was that the tech surrounded by metal bases we often see would become tech surrounded by shell bases. Raiding a base would be a bit different, costing more explosives or risking creatures. But memory was the downfall. Sadly, the older users of ARK, of course, on the standard Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, you just can't run it. It's not going to be able to cope with a new structure tier set. A lot of people have came back at them asking, okay, well, couldn't you have taken out something like Thatch, for instance? But they can't do that, and I appreciate that. However, what's good to know is there is ideas out there for how they can create a new tier that's renewed, refreshing, original, and not just going to be the same old hat that we used to, which is great to hear. That is something that we might be looking forward to when we go to ARK 2. Certainly a great read, and if you want to go through all of that yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. So if you don't know, you've got an Evo event up until not just Monday, Tuesday the 7th, giving you a bit of 2x timing, harvesting XP, hexagon bonus, and breeding. Get a bit of breeding going on, 2x the breeding, popping them out like there's no tomorrow. Get involved, gotta be done. And just a quick look at the community corner, because of course they shouted out Mr. Finn Reinhardt, which we had on the show. We did an interview quite recently with him, and it was really fun. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description, and certainly go watch this video. Excellently filmed and well worth your time to watch. And of course, Mr. Safiro, who we talked about earlier on in this video. And I am really enjoying Steph's approach to the spiral staircase. He's done many different versions of that design, and they're very difficult to do. You can see him live in action creating these to digest how difficult and time consuming it really does take. So go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. And last but not least, Dolly, not Dolly, the product manager of ARK Survival Evolved, and of course ARK 2 and associate producer for the ARK animated TV series, has got a tweet out there allowing you to win more of those plushies. There's still a few out there about that nobody's, I'm guessing, not claimed, and all you've got to do to win yourself one, post a picture of your doggo. That's all she wants. Dolly wants to see your best dog pictures. So I will leave a link to that in the description, that tweet, of which you can reply with your own dogs and spam Dolly with dogs. Enjoy that. And there we go. That completes the news for today. I'm sorry it's late. I was away all weekend. You can probably tell by the state of my voice that, yeah, copious drinking was involved. Although I don't condone it, don't drink on YouTube. But if you did enjoy this, comment below, let me know. What do you think of the Sinomacrops? I hope it's called Sinomacrops. I've just been calling it that and just hoping for the best. And the structure tier. What? Why? Oh, why? And I get why, but why? And how? What do you want as your ARK building TLC? Comment below, let me know. Until next time, my name's Ross Clark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.